Hello and welcome to You're Wrong About Musicals. I'm Esme,
And I'm Nell.
and today we're going to be talking about everybody is talking about Jamie,
Yay!
a very British musical. We were talking yesterday about musicals that are too British to function. This is a prime example. Anyway,
Before we
first,
start, I want to apologize for two things.
Mhm.
Number one, I am currently eating a 450-gram bag of sweets.
It's exam season, guys. Be nice.
I have 4 essays due the day after this episode comes out.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Friday.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have time earlier in the week. So
I was
I still am. I've written 1.5.
That's really good. You're almost halfway there. You're almost halfway there.
Almost. I finished my 2,000 word one.
Mm.
I'm halfway through one of my 3,500 ones. I've got another 3,500 one and then a 3,000 one.
Also, the reason why we recorded this later was because I was at Hades Town yesterday.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, I gave up on the mic. It's like laying on my bed right now because we spent like 2 hours trying to get it to work.
Well, we also spent 2 hours talking about what the fuck were we on about? Young Sheldon.
Taylor Swift. I think she's announcing Rep TV on the 22nd of June. I saw a 15-slide TikTok about it, and it was so insane that I have to believe it.
And I think it's happening. There is only one piece of evidence that was put forward that I agree with. And that is, it would be insane to announce an album about Joe in the city that Joe is from, even though she hates his guts.
While he's there.
That's our latest Eras tour theory. So you've had Aaron Dessner and Anais Mitchell going to come on stage and sing Flowers. You've had Andrew Lloyd Webber's going to be there and they're going to sing McCavity.
I'm still holding out.
With And/or Beautiful Ghost. And now we have Joe Alwyn is going to be in the nosebleeds with us. Pick your favourite.
She actually bought 3 tickets. And we're giving the third one to Joe Alwyn. I'm going to get a new mic. Esme just watched me apply to like 2 different jobs in a row while talking to her.
This is a good time to remind you all that if anyone would actually like to pay us, we will still watch Dear Evan Hansen if you pay us.
If you pay us, we will watch the Dear Evan Hansen movie. If you pay for the tickets, we will go and see Mincemeat again.
Yes, and if you pay us, we would also be interested in releasing our 4-hour cut of the Hades Town episode.
Our final goal is if we earn enough money, I will force Esme to release the uncut Dear Evan Hansen.
I need to go back and re-edit that. Like it got a boost. Funnily enough, it got a boost in like a massive boost in streams when challenges came out. The week challenges came out. It got a massive boost in streams.
It was Dear Evan Hansen, and then it was like, oh god, we're going for a tough time, guys.
When I started screaming into the mic in Hades.
Yeah.
Mics.
Well, I'm gonna start editing 1 TikTok a week.
Yeah, Nell's gonna make after her exams are done, she's gonna make 1 TikTok a week. That's more than I'm gonna be able to
tell when it's mine. I'll say that much.
They're gonna have their own style. I might even create a playlist for them so you can find them all in one place. Moving on to something incredibly dumb that I remembered this week. If you know me in real life, ask me about this. I do. More. Now, you saw the evidence.
Yeah.
My beef with Florence Welsh is back on. If you weren't aware, I have beef with Florence Welsh. I will not be exaggerating until the Tony Awards of next year. Long live The Great Gatsby on Broadway. That is the reason why I started supporting it, and then I forgot I had beef with Florence Welsh, and then I was reminded this week.
I think my problem with the people who are like, I hate The Great Gatsby on Broadway. It's just like, none of them ever pretended it was a good representation of the book.
Yeah. It's an adaptation.
It was just like, we have Jeremy Jordan, even though Lozada and a car.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gatsby on Broadway.
And I said, yes, I have beef with Florence Welsh.
I'm sorry, Esme, to go against you like this.
Go ahead.
I think objectively, the Florence Welsh one is going to be better.
Oh, I agree.
Objectively.
Yeah. Objectively.
However, Broadway Gatsby is so much funnier that I have so much more respect for it.
Yeah. And also, the chuckles it has given us. It has given us all. It's like, oh, you really hate The Great Gatsby on Broadway. Should we throw a party? Should we invite Bella Hadid? Like,
should we invite Florence Welsh?
Should we invite Florence Welsh? What do you want us to do? Resurrect Sondheim and tell him that? It's kind of like an old take. Moving on to some more delusion I wrote down. I
Oh,
wrote
God.
down the first 3 points if you couldn't tell.
I've just not opened this doc for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I would, because I was like, I need to note this down as it's happening. So Taylor Swift is now friends with Lin
Manuel
and
Miranda.
Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, not
Lin,
like our friend.
we
Okay.
won't stop talking about musicals. And then like 24 hours after I wrote that down, What's on Stage and Broadway World both reported that she had filed a trademark application. And I was like, hang on, you guys aren't my trusted Taylor Swift source. So I pulled up T Swift NZ, and there it was. She's filled out a trademark application for Female Rage, the musical. Now, she's either written a musical or is releasing really shitty merch. And all I'm going to say is, bring on the shitty merch.
Will you buy it?
I don't have the money, but if I did, then I would
If
consider
you
it.
did.
Yeah. I feel like I'd have to. Speaking of Hadestown, there is a new Eurydice in Hadestown, Maya Rafiko. She is from Pretty Little Liars original Sin, and was also nationally in Next Law at the Kennedy Center in early 2020 with Rachel Bay Jones. When her run starts in Hadestown, I don't condone the sharing or creation of bootlegs. However, if there are ones that have already been created and you're already sharing them around, let me know. That's all I have to say on that. Very happy about that. Also, great casting, because I got to text my friend and be like, Noah from Original Sin is being Eurydice in Hadestown. And he went, oh, that's a slay, Hadestown. And I went, finally, got him to talk about Hadestown with me. They also confirmed alongside that Issa and John Paredes and Annie DeFranco are officially leaving.
Feels like there's been some like massive strain of Hadestown leavings. It's because obviously you had the same cast for so long, specifically like Orpheus and Eurydice for like 5 years.
Yeah.
You had the same cast. And it was like someone was saying we're gonna have the third or fourth Eurydice
Yeah, in a year.
in like a year. Which is really different to the one Eurydice they had.
Three out of the four new Eurydices. They've had 5 people play Eurydice on Broadway in the last calendar year by the time Maya Rafiko takes her bow. 3 of those have been Broadway debuts.
And it's very impressive.
It is very impressive. I've loved all of them. Also, they might just be all on short contracts. They might be like, hey, come do this for 3-4 months. And so at the end of the 3-4 months, they go, your contract's up.
I guess as well, like in contrast to Even Novazada and Reeve Carney.
Yeah.
Who kind of originated the characters.
Yeah, they did in a lot of ways.
You know, that sounds weird to say because I also don't necessarily agree. But like it's their role.
Yes, yeah,
general understanding of the character came from how they performed it.
Yes, yeah.
So they could stick with it for a while.
Moving away from our weekly Hadestown rant, there's going to be a ragtime concert with Casey Levy as Mother, Joshua Henry as Colehouse Walker, and Brandon Uranowitz as Tate. Now, the unhinged thing about this ragtime concert is it is happening during the election. Now, if you don't know ragtime...
How during?
Like, during the week. Like, it's running for 1 week, and that is from the 4th till, like, the 12th.
Of November?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It is very politically charged. Kind of insane that they're doing a production of ragtime during the election. There was a spring of news, so I think they announced Maya Rafiko as Eurydice, and then it was like the next 3 bullet points all happened within like a half an hour of each other. It was a wild half an hour for me on Tuesday. Yeah, love ragtime, so very excited about that. Encore season announced with Urinetown, Love Life, and Wild Party, which is the La Chaza version, because there are 2 ragtimes in the same, not ragtimes, 2 wild parties in the same way there are 2 Gatsbys. Urinetown's been bounced around as a revival for ages. This makes sense. Love Life, I think, was postponed from 2020, so it's finally making its return, and Wild Party is for the shits and gigs and to add to the chaos.
It all ties up together.
Buzzing about all of them. Darren Criss is doing a musical on Broadway with Michael Arden directing called Maybe Happy Ending. I'm excited. I like Darren Criss. I love a bit of Michael Arden, and yeah, exciting times.
I know. I think we're really seeing a like resurgence in fresh theatre now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say on that. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, same. I will be enjoying it as it happens. Mean Girls putting in new material for the London run, and at a certain point, now one of the things I like about live theatre is that it's an ever-changing beast, but at a certain point, If you cannot get a good I Want song from Katie when we are 6 years in,
Something
7 years in, come on, guys, because I know that's what it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be the I Want song from Katie.
There's just nowhere else in Mean Girls that is lacking enough for Warren E material.
Yeah. So
Like the only thing I could see them doing
yeah,
is giving Gretchen and Karen updated songs.
happening. However, at a certain point, your musical's done. You cannot physically tinker with it in this way anymore.
Yeah.
I read it and I was so sleep deprived. I was like, that's a threat against my life.
Hmm.
The Wicked trailer came out and Dr. Dillerman has been revealed.
He's a goat.
He's just fully a goat.
I was still holding out hope for James Corden, if I'm being honest.
He retweeted that Wicked poster. James Corden's in the
That was good.
corner.
I like that one.
I saw that and I thought, Nell's gonna like that.
And then it was me retweeting
And then,
it.
no. And then, like, about 2 hours later, I get a notification he retweeted something. And I'm like, what? She retweeted that fucking thing. I don't get why they could have just had him be voiced by James.
I don't get it. It should have been him.
Like, he's presenting the late show.
I think it's been crazy to see like the Ariana Grande fans
Yeah.
find out about Wicked.
Yes, you think because Ariana has made it her entire personality for a year and a half that they'd have at least read the plot synopsis.
Yeah, it was like, wait, Linda's bitchy? All
Linda's
this time
a
I thought she was the
bitch.
cute one.
Yeah.
I will say, shout out to Ariana Grande for nailing the Kristen Chenoweth voice.
Oh my God. I've not heard from Toby since, and I think he's had to go into hibernation because of how good it sounds.
But a part of me was like, is it just going to be Ariana Grande singing?
Yes. Yeah, I
And
know
like
exactly what you
speaking?
mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Because I love Ariana Grande. I think she's really cool. I like a lot of her songs.
Yeah.
I think if you had told me, if I thought she was gonna do it in her voice, which
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with, it's just not a Glinda voice. I also
Yeah.
saw people being like, "Oh, they really cut every mention of Ethan Slater out of this trailer." Think
Yeah.
of a character do you think Bok is?
I was about to
Like,
say, I was like, guys, Bok, again, have we read a plot synopsis?
guys, I'm being so. He's not at the same level of Elphaba and Glinda.
Also, like, there's barely any fucking Fiero.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Madame Morrible. That's one thing I will also say.
I also saw people complaining like, so they just showed us the whole plot in 3 minutes.
Also, the thing of the
It's
Wicked
been on stage for like 20 years.
Also, the thing of the Wicked movies is that they just have to make so much money that I don't think they're gonna make. So they can be good movies. I'm just not sure if they're gonna be able to make enough money to justify there being two.
I've liked a lot of the jokes I've seen about like she's gonna do her riff and then we're gonna get Elphaba will return.
Yes. I'm enjoying
Like,
I'm enjoying the overall like vibe of the Wicked movies, the camaraderie.
yeah.
Death becomes her to play Broadway. We're getting our first Broadway openings for next season, which is crazy because barely survived this one. Death
I'm
becomes
just surprised there's anything left to open.
Yeah, I'm like, didn't we get through all the original musicals last season? Like, come on. Yeah, Death becomes her. It's got Jennifer Samard and Megan Hilty. Megan Hilty's back on Broadway. Good news for us. For me, I love Megan Hilty. Also, it's a musical comedy, which I'll be interested to see how it does because it seems very ridiculous. On to another thing that started performances. By God, has it started performances? Romeo and Juliet has started previews. People are being weird because they've never been normal about Romeo and Juliet a day in their life.
I think obviously there's something to be said about Jamie Lloyd getting himself into a box.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, I think there's two sides to it. Because on the one hand, Sunset Boulevard worked so well. I have to imagine he is only taking on projects he believes he can make work in this style.
Yeah, he has a vision
of this kind of weird, and to an extent, I get it. He's taking on ones that seem very disconnected from reality, but actually are about our reality. So he's using a lot of cameras. He's using a lot of the actors are on stage, but they're also in the real world, and they're right here, but they're over there now. And there's actually nothing on this set. They are just here in front of you. They are also people.
Yes.
There's a very like realist touch to it. But I also think there is something to be said about eventually you are going to run out of shows.
Yeah.
that can work. Because we did the whole thing, like, can you Jamie Lloyd this show? Can you do a Jamie Lloyd?
Can you
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard? What was it, Annie? We were like,
I think it's I'm very interested to see where he goes with it. Because
mm.
if he can, for the rest of his life, keep finding shows that work in that style and that he wants to do in that style and keep doing them.
And be very financially successful as well. That's the thing.
Yeah. A lot of directors don't have a kind of signature thing, like musical
Yeah.
theatre directors. Because you can say, like, oh, like Hal Prince
Yes.
was like the mega musical, like the big set piece. But ultimately, not all of his shows were like that. It was just the ones during the mega musical period, which was a bulk
Yeah.
of his work.
Yeah. No, he also did stuff like Parade and some other stuff. Some
Yeah,
other stuff that I can't think off the top of my head. But his style was quite different at moments. He would do
yeah.
Sondheims and then he would do these big
Like
oh,
Rachel Chavkin.
Rachel Chavkin, my queen.
Like, there's something to be said that, yes, all of her works have a similar feel, and obviously, because they're all directed by the same person. Specifically, like Hadestown and Great Comet, which are the two I know best.
Hadestown is really quite stripped back when you think about it, compared
Yeah.
to like the grandness and lushness of Great Comet. Although,
And there are definitely like reasons for that that are linked to the story,
yeah,
obviously. And it's like obviously when you watch both of them, you can tell if you know who she is, you can tell it's a Rachel Chapkin directed production.
yes,
But they are two very different shows.
yeah, 100%.
So I just think it's really interesting, and I would love to see how long it lasts.
Mm.
For one guy to just keep doing the this sounds really rude, but the same gimmick.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet a photo with like the production photo saying showing Jamie Lloyd a box of crayons
Yeah.
and seeing it, he'll cry. And it's like, how long can he avoid using a bit of colour in his production? What else we got it next? Todrick, sorry. Going
Oh
from an
yeah.
intense, like a very nuanced interesting discussion about Romeo and Juliet and Jamie Lloyd into the next bullet point.
Yeah.
Jarring transition. Todrick Hall is playing the donkey in Shrek the Musical at the Hammersmith
The
Apollo.
donkey. His name is Donkey.
His name is Donkey.
I
Sorry, just getting over the
This is
episode.
really sucks because I don't like Todrick Hall,
I hate Todrick Hall.
but I really want
Oh,
to
we
see
really
Shrek
want to
at
go
the
see
Hammersmith
Shrek.
Apollo.
Like, if he's confirmed not to be on, I will definitely go.
Guys, I'm not even joking about this. Every week, Esme's like, what do you think we should do next week? Or to fill in this gap? Every single week, at least one of us will bring up Shrek.
Shrek.
And we're both like, no, we have to see it first.
No, we're gonna go see it this summer. So we're gonna
Yeah,
put off
we're
doing
gonna see
Shrek.
it. We'll do it after we see it. Now Todrick Hall's
Now
gonna
fucking
be
Todrick Hall's there. We might just have to watch the Brian Darcy James pro shot and pretend like we saw
there.
it. We should go
Oh
sit.
no!
Oh no, we should go sit in Hammersmith Station, train station, and watch the pro shot. So we've seen Shrek in Hammersmith.
Oh, Shrek is so cheap as well.
I know. Also, the another annoying thing about Shrek is it's really fucking cheap, and I really do want to see Shrek live. But I really hate Todrick Hall. He's on my list of enemies. That's a joke, but he's on my list of enemies. I don't like the fact that he's burnt all his bridges in America and so decided to make it our issue.
He's done the opposite of James Corden.
Yeah, and can America
And it
please
really
take Todrick
sucks.
Hall back? Find someone as talented. I don't think Todrick Hall's going to sell as many tickets as you think Todrick Hall is going to sell. Anyway, Ramin Kirimalu and Anushka Lucas to do a musical called A Face in the Crowd at the Young Vic. Big deal for us.
Big deal for us.
Massive. It is a really annoying, playing at a really annoying time for us, but I fear we might have to go back
It's
to
a
London.
really annoying place for us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go though, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Because I really want to
Yeah.
see Anushka Lucas was in Weird Oklahoma as Laurie.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go. Once Upon a Mattress. I almost said Once Upon a One More Time, the Britney Spears musical, but no, different thing.
It's back.
After its success at the Tony Awards.
Exclusive news from
It's
us
real
only.
to announce. Don't fact check it because no one else knows.
Source, dude, trust me.
Source, a vibe. I caught a vibe. Yeah, Once Upon a Mattress will be playing Broadway. It is the production with Sutton Foster that played Encores. There is a rumor / belief going around that Encores are trying to transfer one musical per season at least, or hoping and aiming for two. And all I'm gonna say
Fair,
is,
I think.
huh? Yeah, fair.
Fair.
I love their productions. All I'm
Mm.
gonna say is, lighten the piazza, transfer it.
Here's how we can get Tuck Everlasting back on Broadway.
Wait another 50 years that they could do it as an encores. Not even
And
50.
then they'll do it the encore.
No, wait another 10 years, then they could do it encores, and then you could. This is important to know. I'm gonna let Nell take the wheel on this.
No, dude, I'm eating my sweets. I'm going through it, man.
Andy, Carl, and Orphe have broken up. This is Nell made me write this down.
I texted Esme at about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
because I was in the middle of writing my essay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't focus. I can't do anything. I'm going to fail all my exams.
Mm.
Let me go on Twitter. It was literally at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Did you text me?
And I texted Esme being like, they're splitting up.
I woke up the next morning, I was like, what the fuck has happened?
I was distraught.
Yeah. A lot of other people on Twitter were distraught.
I also don't know them at all, so.
Yeah. These are complete
I also just don't care. I'm absolutely distraught.
Yeah.
Also fully aware I do not care.
Also, like, on my day-to-day life, do I care? Not really.
No.
Since I got the text, I was like, what? That's insane. That's really sad. I thought about it when I wrote this down. On another note, How to Dance in Ohio recording is now available to view at Lincoln Center. If anyone wants to get me into Lincoln Center so I can view all those recordings, you will be my best friend.
Please.
I don't have much to offer. I will buy you a New York style bagel. I hear those are kind of cheap, but beloved if you get me in there, okay? And Juliet announces their tour cast, okay, I guess.
Sorry, we just also don't care about Juliet.
I would like to revive the record on Anne Juliet because I saw Melanie Barry yesterday as Hermes. She was great as always. And I will remember, the one thing I remember about Anne Juliet was she was good. Don't remember anything else about it, but I remember her song. I have no idea. They were singing Problem. I have no idea why, but I remember thinking, this is fun.
Every time I think about it, I get really angry because I don't like it.
We saw Starkid.
Oh my god.
We did see Starkid. Yes, correct. The rumors are true. We were there.
It was crazy scenes.
It was absolutely mental, actually.
It was, first of all, fucking boiling hot.
The nicest day of the entire year, we're at Starkid.
I spent £15 on a poster.
You did, yep.
It's on my wall right now.
Lovely. Hadestown don't sell posters, guys. Let's get on that.
I was convinced Hadestown
So was
sold
I.
posters.
I went to that merch counter being like, I'm buying a poster now.
Did we make it up?
I fear we have had collective Hadestown psychosis, yes.
Leave a comment down below.
NAS Mitchell, I know you're definitely listening to all of this. Can you give us a Hadestown poster, please? We'll be at your concert on the 28th.
We've got to finish this.
Back to We See Starkid.
We saw Starkid. It was really good. Hadestown doesn't have posters. Starkid does. I paid £15 for it. It was just incredible.
It was
like,
it was electric. It was so amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, it's one of those things I kind of never thought I'd get to see them live because like we'd always talked about getting like the digital ticket.
Yes, yeah.
You're always like, this is the year we're gonna do it, and we never do. And that was kind of our extent of we're gonna see them live. We're gonna see them on the digital ticket.
This is how we can support them.
It was just genuinely incredible. I was so happy. I nearly cried.
No, like when show-stopping numbers started, the entire time I was like very like I wasn't reacting a lot. I felt like I was so tired that day. I got no sleep the night before. But that didn't like hinder my experience. That I still had an amazing time. So I wasn't really like cheering and stuff because I had no voice as well.
Yeah.
When show-stopping numbers started, I was like I was always scared by it. But like I sat there with a massive grin on my face the entire way through the entire show.
I will say a lot of people filming.
It did almost take away from it at a certain moment.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, it is a concert. And a lot of the footage I've watched has been from people filming it from the audience. In my section alone, 5 different people just filming the entire thing. And
the issue is because we were sat like a couple rows back from each other. Because I was sat a bit more back, I could see everyone filming. And like I could see them like notifications coming through as well.
You know, I think I'm better than everyone else because I lived in the moment.
Yeah.
However, the second I see one of those videos, I am watching it all the way through.
I did
So,
also. I enjoyed the gag of where did we get our shirts? Primark. Thanks for asking.
Gucci Gucci. I actually got mine in America from Primark.
Primark? And then everyone went
I
to the Primark on Oxford Street afterwards.
Yeah.
We joked about going, and I was like, that Primark is
I
actually one of
was
my
like,
least
who
favorite
would be
places on
crazy
earth.
enough to do that?
Everyone, apparently. And it's
A lot of
pajamas.
people cosplaying.
A lot of
A
people
lot of
cosplaying.
people cosplaying.
And I have to respect it because, again, it was hot as hell that day.
It looks sick, like all of it.
And
Cosplays
especially
look
if they were
sick.
doing like oh my god, what they called the Hatchetfield gods of
The
the
Lords in Black.
Lords in Black. Fair.
Yeah.
A lot of fair. Waitress is going to the UK and the cinemas. The pro show is trying to make its way over here. It's coming for one night only, the night before the Eras tour, so I will not be going. Now you can do what you like.
I also will not be going because I have seen how much the tickets are.
Yeah, the tickets are also 20 quid. I will be at the merch
Which
truck.
doesn't sound like a lot, but for a cinema,
It is.
Everybody's Talking About Jamie is a musical with a book and lyrics by Tom McCall. Yeah, so that's
music and orchestrations,
Oh no, I
Good
have it
album.
right. I have it right, sorry.
book and lyrics, Tom McRae.
Yeah, I have it right. There's just a quote from Dan that really contradicts that later on. So that's what got me confused.
I finally opened my CD of this that I got
Wow.
in like 2017.
Yeah, probably. Dan Gillespie Snells is best known for being the lead vocalist and principal singer in The Feeling, with their debut album 12 Stops from Home selling over 1 million copies, and was the recipient of the 2015 Stonewall Award for Entertainer of the Decade for his work within the LGBT community, and the 2007 Ivor Novello Award for Songwriter of the Year. Tom McRae has worked on TV shows before working as a writer and producer on the US show The Librarians. On British television, he is a writer, creator, and producer of the comedy central sitcom Threesome, as well as contributing to Doctor Who. It is based on a documentary called Jamie, Drag Queen at 19, which not 19, 16, which aired on BBC Three in 2011 as a part of their Extraordinary Me series. It told the story of Jamie Campbell, a teenager living in Bishop Auckland, Durham, who delved into the world of drag with the help of his supportive and loving mum. It touched people's hearts and helped change minds when it first aired. I've always known Jamie, like, it's based on a real story. I didn't realize how much it is Jamie's life, but also it's his likeness. Like, his last name's completely different in the show. His mum is, like, obviously a very important character in the show. The thing with the musical is that the rest of the supporting cast is completely different.
Yeah.
And the big moment of the prom scene did happen as well. So that's kind of where the similarities lie.
You can tell it's very clearly based off a real story.
Yeah.
It's just they've taken a lot of liberties with it to make it musical.
Yeah, because I mean, a documentary is very different from a musical in
Yeah.
form. Jonathan Butternow, who is the director and the person who kind of commissioned the piece. The story came from the documentary. This is an interview of him. He learned that the story wasn't found by some researcher, but Jamie Campbell reached out to the documentary makers and said, "Please, I'm a bit scared to do this, but will you follow me as I pursue this? I needed to tell my story to the world." That's a quote from the real Jamie. Jonathan was flickering through the TV one day, saw this documentary, and was utterly inspired by it. So much that he rang the artistic director of a theatre in Sheffield and said, "Can I come and create a piece of theatre for my hometown, which is Sheffield? Can I tell this story?" And they commissioned it. I don't want to compare it to Billy Elliot. However,
I get what you mean.
the reviewers have already done it, especially the American press.
I think it's just this kind of young boy with a non-RP accent.
Yes.
Doing something traditionally effeminate.
Yes.
But being proud while doing it.
Yeah.
And they're like, it is the same story.
Guys.
They're two very, very different stories.
Oh, 100%. And have completely different political factors going into them.
Yeah.
And like being it being set in Sheffield is such an important part of the story, if that makes sense. So the fact that Jamie isn't actually from Sheffield was a bit like, oh, okay. Like, I get why the story was changed, because I think Jonathan Butternell, who went on to direct it, he was also from Sheffield, so that's how he connected to it. And so it was almost a mashup of their two lives. Gillespie talking about wanting to write a musical, saying he had to find a writer to collaborate with, but one day when he was attending a civil rights demonstration on Downing Street, and through a mutual friend who was also marching, met Tom McRae. He had written a sitcom before, and one of the first things he said to him was, I want to write a musical. They got some advice from Michael Ball at one point. That was very important.
Crazy.
Yep, Michael Ball. So happy that you're here. Very British musical theatre. And Michael Ball put them in touch with a great director called Jonathan Butternell, who would show them the ropes. And ended up providing the tale of Jamie. And he said to him, when he was working, he said, write a concept album. So that's what he did. Producing every album was his way of aligning and honouring the music within the show. It is a very important part of the process, and we are delighted to share it. They went back and forth until he was happy that the album sounded good. Tom was happy that the songs were doing the job in their show. It would run at the Sheffield Curve from the 18th to the 25th of February 2017. During this time, they would release a concept album featuring Sophie Ellis-Bextor singing a song on it for some reason. I was like, okay, girl, you do that. The track list would look quite different, with there being a song called If I Left Myself, which I think later become If I Met Myself Again. And then at 16, June 2017, they would announce they'd be transferring to the West End, playing at the Apollo Theatre, with the opening date being set for the 22nd of November. There would be a piece published in the Times, not the New York Times, just the British Times. It's just called the Times over here. Before it would play the West End, and before it was announced to play the West End, really, but after the Sheffield run, talking about it, basically talking about how well it was received and how passionately people felt about it. And because it was 2017, guess what they compared it to?
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're both about awkward teenagers who are struggling to find themselves, be accepted, and figure out how to be happy. It's a quest every one of us can relate to. Dear Evan Hansen's a sociopath. I'm sorry. Jamie New is I also don't like my characters to be too likable, so I don't actually care about this. However, you root for Jamie more than you should ever root for Evan Hansen.
Because Jamie does nothing to deserve what he goes through.
Exactly, yeah.
A big part of it is it's just specifically British kids.
Yeah.
Are gonna treat people who are differently. How do I put this without talking too much, because we'll go into it more in our thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, objectively, Jamie New, the character, is very cool.
Yes, yeah.
Like, by the second you get to the song that everybody's talking about Jamie,
yes,
you can tell he is a cool, well-liked character. Even from the opening song, where they sing Happy Birthday, you can tell he's a well-liked person in this school.
Yeah.
It's just the second he even...
An outsider.
This is rude to say.
Fair.
Stereotypically gay.
Yes, he's quite effeminate.
So he's already treated differently by a lot of the boys. The whole reason they go and see him in the drag show initially is to make fun of him.
Yeah.
And then they're like, actually, this guy is fucking sick. He rocks.
We actually have to respect it, because of how good he is.
Yeah, I think it's a very hopeful musical in that sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very much, what if everyone just realised how cool drag was?
What if everyone appreciated the art form of drag?
Oh, if only.
What if British teenagers understood drag?
But yeah, I think in contrast, Dear Evan Hansen sucks.
He's a sociopath.
He is objectively an outsider. He
and
also deserves that. He actively does things that explain why he is in the situation he's in.
Yep.
Because I think the thing for me, sorry to talk about Dear Evan Hansen.
Go ahead, bring it on.
No one lies like that out of nowhere.
Yes, yeah.
A lie of that level is not your first lie.
No.
And you see it in small little things. Like he says to his mom, he's like, yeah, I've been writing those letters. Yeah, I
Mm.
fell out of the tree by
Mhm.
accident. Yeah, like he does these very small lines that you might think are just, oh, he's a regular teenager lying to his parents.
Or is it also the single mother thing of like there's a single mum that sings a ballad in Act 2 when it's all going to shit?
But I think as it goes on, like he tells his mother and himself to some extent, that him and Jared are best friends. Jared clearly
Yeah.
does not care about him.
Jared does not give two shits, rightfully so.
Like the second you realize it and you go back and even just listen to it, you can very clearly tell he is lying about everything
Yeah,
from the very beginning.
100%. Yeah, they do.
Like the second you get one inconsistency,
Mm-hmm.
everything unravels.
Yeah.
And you have to assume that Evan, who fucked up the easiest lie he's ever told, because the person he was telling it about was dead,
Yes.
still managed to fuck it up. Clearly there is a reason people don't like him. Apart from just like there's obviously some extent of he is an awkward teenager, he doesn't fit in. Which is what a lot of people relate to.
There's being an awkward teenager and not knowing how to talk to Zoe in the hallways, and then there's lying about being friends with her dead brother so you can make out of her hair on his bed.
Awkward teenagers don't do that.
Yeah.
Like they try to play it off as like, oh no, he's so awkward and anxious, he just didn't know what to say. So
Didn't know what to do.
Normal people don't do that.
As a formerly socially awkward, anxious teenager, I never did that.
If it happened to me, the most I'm gonna say is like, oh, were you two friends? I'd be like, oh, we talked once or twice.
Yeah, we had a couple of classes together.
Yeah, it was an assignment.
Yeah, it was an assignment.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was an icebreaker at the start of the year.
Even just being like, you know, we were similar and we could be friends.
Yeah.
I wrote it to him.
Yeah.
Or even, God forbid.
Hey, it's my therapy assignment.
My therapist makes me write these letters to myself.
Your son's a dick, and so
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
This isn't the answer you're looking for.
It'd be the shortest musical ever.
If only.
I wish. 15-minute musical.
Sorry, we're gonna have to do Dear Evan Hansen Part 2 because
it's a demon. It's a demon that follows us around.
But yeah, again, I'm not faulting any of the critics for comparing it because I do get the comparison, especially at the time.
100%.
And I do think there definitely are similarities between the two shows.
Yeah.
Specifically in what they're pointing out, this awkward teenager who wants to fit in.
Yeah.
I guess some of the difference is the story of Dear Evan Hansen with Evan Hansen is that he completely Dear Evan Hansen with Evan Hansen.
And Ben Platt, who gave everything just dear.
You know the fucking tweet. And Jeremy Jordan
who gave it an 8.
He did.
He played great.
He played great. He gave it his all. But the thing with Dear Evan Hansen is that Evan Hansen as a character completely changes himself
100%
to fit in. It ultimately doesn't work, and if you really want to take that as the message that don't change yourself to fit in, I guess you could take that from Dear Evan Hansen.
Jamie never changes anything about him.
Jamie is unequivocally himself, and it is because of that that he doesn't fit in by the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, objectively, he does not fit in with what all of the other students are doing.
Yeah.
But he is happy.
Yes.
And because of that, I don't know if respect is the right word.
He's at peace with that.
Yeah. And the other students are as well.
Yeah.
They are two very different messages. They start from a similar point.
Mm-hmm. They
end up at, like, opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah, love Jamie. Hate Dear Evan Hansen.
So let's read the review, shall we? The Guardian would give it 4 stars. Who could resist everybody's talking about Jamie? It's a hero's starlet stilettos that make Dorothy's red shoes look like Dr. Martens, hiking its way from the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield, where it sold out its run at the beginning of the year. Talking about the score and book, it brings a feeling of freshness to the West End. There's a slip-down, easy, fizzling pop as well as brooding soul ballads. Crucially, the show's real-life origins, with 20th century sensibility, give it its sunniness and edge. Director Jonathan Buttonell cleverly saw a TV show about Jamie Campbell and thought there's a musical inside of it. Well, there is now. Willowy John McKera as Jamie is a silvery-voiced, scissor-legged, so effortlessly beguiling
that it's clear that he is going to triumph. There is not much drama when he confronts his enemies. The absent father who doesn't think his son cuts the mustard as a chap. The school thug who muscles up sneering. Jamie is not about conflict but multiple celebration. At least the people put standing up for themselves. You are likely made aware how foul comparison is. Best friend and sweet singer Pretty wears hijab and specs, who's forced to put up with people calling her names because she is clever. Jamie's mother bringing up her son alone is not totally controversial either. Perhaps confrontational either. Perhaps that's where he gets it from. Sniffs of the headmistress, He's My Boy, delivered soulfully by Josie Walker, is likely to be a son and mum karaoke favourite. The whole evening floats by. It's a bit depressing, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Like, it's going to be my first pick.
Yeah, I don't actually know what I'd do for mum and son karaoke night. TBH. That's quite a descriptive thing. The whole evening floats by on a beautifully choreographed crowd of schoolchildren, high knees, bright blazers, excited hair, disruptive and supportive, a true expression of this brilliant hit, cleverly fulfilling a self-fulfilling prophecy that the title is. No wonder everybody's talking about it.
A good review.
I'm getting it. London Theatre would give it 5 stars, saying there is a new, distinctly British musical that could give the imminent arrival of Hamilton from Broadway a serious run for its money. Oh yes, Hamilton was opening around the same time as this, guys. This is very important context for the rest of the episode.
Hamilton was about to transfer over.
Cameron Mackintosh was spending millions to revamp the Victoria Palace Theatre to make it the perfect place for Hamilton.
It was a big time.
It was a massive time on the West End. A serious run for its money. It could be, and just the refreshing breath of fresh, inclusive air the West End needs right now. Sure, there's also currently Kinky Boots, also from Broadway, but set in Northampton, that revolves around a down at the heel shoe factory, pun intended, and is saved when it turns into manufacturing boots for drag queens. But everyone's talking about Jamie does something even broader and more thrilling. It's about a gay teenager who finds the path of acceptance and self-realization through his love for drag and charts his brave determination to go to the high school in a dress is realized. This show could run and run. Could sending it to Broadway be next?
I think we will definitely get into this. I don't think Jamie was ever made for Broadway.
We were talking last week when we were talking about Mincemeat and the fact that they sent out that email about shows and whether or not what was too British to send to America. And I was struggling to come up with an actual example and an actual show because fun fact, during that episode, guys, my brain was fried.
We were both very tired. Esme was in the same situation I'm in right now.
Yeah,
I have so many essays to write.
I had also just cried that entire week. We stopped recording and then I watched an episode of Race Across the World and cried the entire time.
Guys, one more week of this.
One more week.
And then we will be happy and bubbly.
We will be back on our bullshit for reals.
For realsies.
And I think Jamie's the perfect example of a musical that's far too British to really send to America in any fulfilling way.
Yeah.
And that's not because I think Jamie's a bad musical. I just think it's incredibly British.
I think part of it as well is what they said in the interview at the beginning.
Yeah.
When it was, I want to write a musical about this story, but for my hometown.
Yeah.
It is obviously specific to Sheffield.
Yes, 100%.
But it is a story that you can apply to. This is embarrassing.
Fair.
I remember when we were talking about Jamie ages ago, before this podcast was even really an idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, isn't it set in London? And
that's
you're no, thing. It's set in the north of England.
It's that's
are you sure? Because there was a bit where they go to London.
Yes, they do.
But it is a story that is so applicable to specifically UK life. That to me it was completely plausible that this could have happened down the road from me.
Yes, exactly. That could have happened in our high school. But we'll talk more about.
Someone had planned to do it and then they couldn't because our prom got cancelled. We got very distracted just there.
We will talk about Jamie
and the US next, because it did run in the US and be reviewed by major US publications, which I found so interesting. So that will be a whole part. Time Out will give it 5 stars as well, and at the show's heart is a star-making turn by John McKera as Jamie, a queen in rating, charismatically smart, sassy during the showstoppers, pulse-ratingly choreographed by Kate Prince. He defiantly reveals the ache of vulnerability behind his character's catwalk strut. Snells and McRae craft a world that bubbles with hope and doesn't ignore the hardship. Jamie and his classmates face a society beaten down by broken relationships and poverty. That tells them there's no point in trying. But everybody's talking about Jamie is too fabulous for a pity party. It's a joyous punch in the air about following your dreams and being yourself. Life affirming is genuinely overused term, but not here. The production owns the stage.
Dude, I'm gonna listen to this afterwards.
I am actually gonna listen to this afterwards.
I'm gonna love this.
Do you want to do the synopsis?
Jamie New is 16 and lives on a council estate in Sheffield. Jamie doesn't quite fit in. Jamie is terrified about the future. Jamie is going to be a sensation. Supported by his brilliant, loving mum and surrounded by his friends, Jamie overcomes prejudice, beats the bullies, and steps out of the darkness into the spotlight. 16, the age of possibility. Time to make your dreams come true.
I love Jamie.
I think it's one of those shows that I have not thought about in ages. But the second we were like, oh, we're gonna do Jamie this week.
Yeah.
I was like, my God, Jamie. Everybody's talking about Jamie.
Yes.
It's just a genuinely good show.
I forget how good the music is. And I was listening to some of it just today as I was going about my day. And I was like, oh, this is good. Oh, I love the ballads. I think the ballads are really, really good. I do really enjoy
He's My Boy.
No, his mum's name. Is it just Jamie's mother?
I think she does have a name. Hold on, guys.
Hold on.
Let me get out the program. I think I still have it.
I was about to say. Watch how Nell is gonna whip out her program at some point.
Oh, I see it. This was when I still
Margaret.
Is her name actually Margaret?
Her name's Margaret.
I got it signed.
Oh wow! Oh my god! Yeah, it would have been in the heyday of your stage touring years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Margaret New. She sings not only He's My Boy, because that's a banger of a tune.
Yeah.
If I Met Myself Again.
Oh, they have an interview from Margaret Campbell. Like Jamie Campbell's actual mother.
Jamie said that the drama between him and the real Jamie said that the drama between him and his mum was definitely hyped up, and he said, I've never talked to my mum like that.
Oh, they have like actual proper interviews.
Good old Lord. I mean, that's one thing about programs versus playbills is that you do often get this bonus content because you do have to pay for it.
Do you know what they have?
What?
A double page spread with a title at the top that says My Boy, Your Boy.
Oh!
And then it's Margaret Campbell with John McCree, who plays Jamie, and Jamie Campbell with Josie Walker, who plays Margaret Campbell.
Oh, that's so cute.
My God.
Oh, I love everyone's talking about Jamie.
This is so... Oh, they have all the shots from the production.
Also, one thing I will say about Jamie is that it's like a character of Pretty does not really exist in musical theatre. It is such a shame.
Genuinely, there's this one line she says like right at the beginning. It's literally just about her name.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was gonna say, and I always remembered it, and now I can't remember it.
What was it like?
But when she's talking about her name.
Yeah.
And she says, she's gonna go, I'm Indian.
Yeah.
My mum gave me like a Bangladeshi name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of always took it as like, first of all, a very good joke. Because she talks a lot about her name, but she's called Pretty, and then is bullied for not being pretty.
Yeah, they make the bullies make a lot of bad jokes about it.
But I think somewhere in there's definitely also a joke about like representation, specifically in theatre and in queer theatre.
Yeah.
About like you're claiming she's one nationality.
Mm.
And I hate to bring her up, especially in an episode about everybody just talking about Jamie.
You have to bring her up.
But Cho Chang from Harry Potter.
Okay, yeah.
I want to say Japanese.
I've never read Harry Potter or seen it.
But her name is 2 surnames.
Yeah, I did know that, yeah.
From different, like from Korean and Chinese.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling does not know how to Google.
I think someone better than me, who is less tired than me, could dig out that.
No, what I mean is characters in modern musical theatre when we're telling all these contemporary stories, which is a trend, they don't wear hijabs on stage very often as well. And for a country, and especially in the UK, and I don't know, this is just us growing up in London thing, but there are a lot of Muslims and there are a lot of Muslim women who wear hijabs. And so to see that represented on stage, I don't know, must feel quite special. Also, pretty song that she sings is good. I enjoy it. That it means beautiful. Oh, I love that song. And it comes back around of them making all the jokes about her name, then to sing this song.
It's just every single song is so good. The other thing I was gonna say about Jamie, which is kind of related to everything we just talked about, and kind of not, it's about the music.
I love the music.
Love it. It's incredible. I will say, I might be misremembering this, but I don't think I am. Did Jamie do the thing that Heathers did? Heathers US, where it released like 4 songs for like a year?
There are like 12 different versions of the West End recording.
Yeah, let me find it. Because my thing with Heathers, and the reason I always remember it, if they had the 4-song album.
Yeah, they did.
Years.
They
and
did,
it was
yes.
like Candy Store,
Mm-hmm.
Dead Girl Walking.
Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
Maybe there was one more somewhere.
And it was Freeze Your Brain.
Freeze Your Brain. So I would listen to it and I'd be like, I have no idea what the plot of this is.
No idea what is going on.
These songs are great. Jamie, I'm like certain it had like 4 songs. Because
they had the concept album. That might be what you're remembering.
No, there was one that was like specifically 4 songs. And then they updated it to have the full album.
Yeah.
Because it was like definitely The Wall in My Head, I think. Because I was listening to it. Like The Legend of Loco Chanel.
Yes.
It was a very short, maybe like probably thinking about it. And you don't even know it. Wall in My Head, Legend of Loco Chanel. Everybody's talking about Jamie. But one of them might have been It Means Beautiful.
Yes.
They just had this album for like a year.
I agree, because I think I feel like we were all listening to the wrong version of Jamie for like a year. I don't know whether or not it was like an us thing or like a them thing, but I was definitely listening to not the full version of Jamie for a year.
I'm really trying to find if this album still exists.
It's another one of our collective hallucinations, just between us two.
I remember that there was an album with just like 4 songs on it. Because I remember when I looked at it one day on Spotify and it suddenly had like 10 songs on it.
Yeah.
Because Jamie's a short album.
Yeah, it's not massive, I don't think. Oh my god, Epic Free just came up. Sorry. We were having a
we were talking about something.
We were talking about Haley Song. Surprise. No, it's only a 51-minute length of an album.
Like 16 songs total.
Yeah, 16 songs, 51 minutes, which really, for a musical, it's
very
like nothing.
Short. I think I will admit, again, I saw this in July 2018.
Yeah.
So I was, what, like 13, 14?
Yeah, around then. 14, you would have been?
15?
14 going on 15. Yeah.
So, because I feel like what we say with a lot of musicals, specifically with their like song lengths, is it's hard to get the balance right.
Yes, 100%.
From my memory, Jamie works with it very well. I think in part because so many of the songs are at 2 extremes of an emotional like spectrum.
Oh yeah.
They are either really, really upbeat, like you don't even know it, everybody's talking about Jamie, all of this stuff.
Even something like the Legend of Loco Chanel, which is longer and more storytelling focused. Like the drag queen, he is telling he's
Loco Chanel.
Loco Chanel is telling the story of Loco Chanel.
But you don't know he's Loco Chanel yet.
You don't know he's Loco Chanel yet. That's
he's just a guy.
He's just a guy
he's just a guy
in Sheffield singing a song.
I thought he was in London.
Yeah, he's in London, yeah. There's no drag queens in Sheffield. Until
now. But yeah, from my memory, there's either these really upbeat, like I hate to use this word, but like hype songs.
I get exactly what you mean. I get
Or at the
precisely.
complete other end, it's ballads.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, I think I will feel this when I go and listen to it after this recording.
Mm-hmm.
Feels jarring when you're just listening to the album
Yeah.
because it's like
Even the way it's
into
like,
the wall in my head,
oh, that song though.
which I love. It's one of my favorite songs like ever.
Mm.
Distraught over it. It's a very sad song.
Yeah.
When you're listening to them back to back,
Yeah.
jarring.
Yeah.
In the actual live musical, it works very well
Yeah.
because how do I put this without sounding very pretentious?
So
One of the biggest criticisms you'll ever hear about musical theatre is why do people just burst into a song all the time? It doesn't make any sense.
there are
Grow
rules.
up, first
There
of
are
all.
rules to it. First off, even sometimes I think when you can't talk, you sing.
And I think Jamie does this very well. Every single song feels like an outburst of emotion. In a lot of
Yes.
cases, it's very positive.
Yes.
Again, I'm gonna use You Don't Even Know It.
It's a great song. I'm sorry.
Possibly one of the best opening
Opening
songs
numbers.
ever.
Oh,
And it's not even opening, there is a bit of dialogue before it.
No, but like it's the first number.
Song.
Yeah.
Because I do remember this actually, it's Jamie's birthday.
Yes.
He's walking down the street, he has his red heels on.
Uh-huh.
He gets halfway down the road and his mum's like, Jamie, you're gonna have to change. He says, no, I'm not. Goes off stage, comes back on and says, I'm gonna change my shoes.
Yeah.
Great opening scene. And then he goes to school and You Don't Even Know It starts. Actually no, a bit more. They have a bit of primary school. But yeah, it feels like an outpouring of emotion that could not be done in just speaking.
Yes.
Which is another reason why I think the musical just did really well with like ordinary people. Not only because the story is really applicable to everyone, but also just have you seen the TikTok that's making the rounds again? Where it's just like how it sounds when musical theatre actors switch from talking to singing really suddenly.
I've been getting a lot of musical theatre girl discovers Chapel Row, and I'll send them to you. They're hilarious.
But it's a lot of like these jokes of like, Jason, wait.
Jason?
I didn't mean for this to like very weird, just suddenly they are singing.
Yeah.
Jamie works because they are talking about something and you can feel the tension brewing, whether that is, can there be good tension?
Yes.
Whether that's good or bad tension.
Momentum.
That's the word. Good momentum or bad tension.
Mm.
And then eventually it explodes into a song. Well, it sounds ridiculous when I'm saying like that, but I promise it works.
Yes.
I promise. But yeah, I really like the music. I think again,
I do like
whatever review it was a bit before that said it was like really refreshing music.
Yes.
What the West End needs right now.
Yeah.
Again, it was that weird stage of musical theatre, particularly UK musical theatre.
Yes.
Where
it's like 6 hadn't happened at this point for all of our American listeners
properly,
and international listeners. Like this was the precursor
Dear
to
Handsome
6.
was big.
Dear and Handsome was big. The West End hadn't really had a fully original West End big musical in a while, I believe.
Yeah, probably not since like the mega musicals properly.
Maybe Billy Elliot and stuff like that.
Billy Elliot.
We hadn't had like a fresh, like we'd had a lot of imports and a lot of big revivals and whatnot.
Yeah.
This was it.
But it did very much, it was the time when contemporary musicals felt contemporary.
Yes, 100%. They were slice of life.
Yeah, they were fresh, they were new, they sounded fun. And I think a lot of contemporary musicals do still do that nowadays. Gotta stop.
It's like, guys, there's 2 things that we keep making jokes about that I have to edit out.
Yeah. I feel like there is a ton I could say about Jamie, but a lot of it just boils down to they do this and it was really good and I liked it. And then they also do this and I really like it.
I think in the best way possible, I just sound really weird there. I think in the best way possible, it is such a product of its time. Like normally when I say that like it's such a product of time, it does have kind of negative connotations. However, I think in the best way possible, it's a product of its time.
Yeah. And also, might sound really stupid.
Say it.
But for me, it's a product of its time in the way of like it's really optimistic for the future.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like a lot of stuff that like gets produced nowadays is really pessimistic.
Yeah.
It's very much like the world is fucked and nothing will ever be right again. and we should all just like
Real.
kill ourselves. And Jamie was like, what if
We
everyone
could
liked drag
teach.
queens?
What if we could teach the most laddie guy in your high school? You can all name 5 in the audience here. What if we taught him to appreciate the art of drag?
What if he appreciated how hard it is to dance in heels?
Yes. Because
What
it is
then?
bloody hard.
It is bloody hard.
What world would that be? Would that be a better world? Yes.
I think sometimes it feels really mean to me to call it like naive
Yes.
and like naively optimistic. Because like ultimately I want to believe in what Jamie believes in. Jamie the musical,
Yes.
not the character.
Yes. I would believe in both, actually.
But Jamie the character is not a real person.
No. Well, it kind of is.
Well, you know what? You've got me there. Yeah, okay. I'd like to believe in what Jamie believes in. And I hope that Jamie, the real person, does still believe in that.
I hope that there is someone out there with all this hope and optimism. Because God, we need it.
I just feel like a lot of the time, me and Ezra are talking about this all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk politics.
Because here's the thing, guys, we do also, like, I feel like some people might get a bit confused sometimes when we do go on these long political tangents. We both study, well, you study politics. Like, politics is in the name of your degree.
Not straight politics.
Not straight politics, but it's in the name of your degree.
Politics and IR.
I study social policy, which is kind of linked to politics. It's
Yeah.
very political in nature.
We do both, like, study politics to some extent.
Yeah.
I think that synopsis, and to go back to it,
Yes, go ahead.
the bit of 16, the edge of possibility, time to make your dreams come true. I do really like that for the musical.
Yes.
Because it feels stuck in that kind of teenage state.
I don't know if it's because I have so many memories of it as when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
or whether or not it is just that teenage state.
Like, I can guarantee I'm very emotional right now as well.
Yeah. That's why
I
she
can
just cried when I
guarantee-
quoted Hades Town.
I'm gonna cry again tonight. I'm going to go and listen to this. I'm going to listen to, let me check the song list, the entire soundtrack.
Yes.
And I'm going
Also,
to cry the whole way through.
me at Hades Town last night.
Because the optimism in the show, encapsulated in this 16-year-old boy, is
Yeah.
the exact same way I was at 16. And I'm not like that anymore. And it makes me feel really sad. And I wish I still was. I didn't expect to get like deep
About
on the
Jamie.
Everybody's Talking About Jamie episode.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Here we are. Like, I think the thing that I kept thinking about when I was putting this together was I have so many memories of being a teenager and Jamie just being about, because like well, someone who worked at in my like theatre group, she fucking loved Jamie. She was obsessed. She went twice in one day. Grown ass
Nice.
40-year-old woman with a kid.
That's insane.
The guy was leaving, and she was like, "He's the only one who can ever play Jamie, so I have to go twice more." We're not gonna get into that. I don't.
There's, to be fair, there have been a number of good Jamies.
Later Williams. Anyway, and so she made us all do Jamie, like parts of it, and so I have memories of doing that. And I don't know. When 6 took off, because 6 took off 2 years
Same
after
year-ish.
around the same time, around the same zeitgeist time. I wanted so badly for Jamie to take off with it, because I always thought 6 was too British for the Americans to get, and they got 6.
Yeah.
And I thought Jamie's waiting just there. Please pick up Jamie. And they just never did.
I think the thing with Jamie, I'm going to try and make this my final thought, because I will go on forever, I've realised.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it is very unassuming when you first look at it.
Yes.
And I think even for me, like, when I look at all the reviews, I'm like, oh, these really deep, like, mother-son songs.
For mother-son karaoke night.
Yeah. And it's like this deep storyline and how, like, emotional it is. Like, when we were reading them, I was like, I guess. I mean, I get the emotional part, but I don't know. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, this is a really deep musical.
Yeah.
Like, this was doing a lot. And I think it was just packaged and presented in a way that was perfect for 16-year-olds. Like me, I was 15.
Another thing that I'd like to, I mean, I have so many thoughts about America and Jamie.
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts.
I'm just trying to catch up because it is almost 11 p.m. for us.
No, shit.
It is almost 11 p.m. for us. Olivia Awards, it was nominated for Outstanding Achievement in Music, Best Choreographer, Best Actress in a Musical, Best Actor in a Musical, and Best Musical. However, as we talked about before, Hamilton, it didn't win a thing.
Yeah,
Hamilton was
their performance was also very good. I remember watching it at the time and being like,
very
"Oh,
iconic.
this is sick."
So,
The
yeah.
movie, they have a movie of it. Watch it on Prime if you can. I'd recommend it. It's very good and faithful.
Yeah.
They knew that they were going to do the film after 10 performances up in Sheffield because Rap Films production company came to the 10th performance and rang Jonathan Buttonell the next day and said, "We love this story. If you would come in and chat to us and think of giving the rights to it very quick." It would be released in September 2021 with it being 2 hours long, which is long for a movie, but I'm glad they didn't cut anything. Like,
Especially for like a movie musical.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, a lot of very important plot points to keep in.
They would have an 82% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and Project Hall would be at the scene of the crime because why not? So they would be caught up in the many like reopenings and closings, whereas I think Broadway had one reopening and then was just like, we're running.
Yeah.
The West End had many reopenings and closing, where stuff was on for a couple weeks and then it was closed for a couple weeks and it was open and it wasn't. Because of this, we lost a lot of great shows, Jamie being one of them. I feel the best way to describe it is just read a What's on Stage article. They said the What's on Stage award-winning musical played its last London performance on the 26th of September 2021, with the tour opening that same month and touring all across the autumn and winter for a 4-week spell in Brighton. The tour will then pause as the piece heads to Los Angeles before commencing in the UK for completing the tour in May 2022. The second tour is planned for 2023. All of the press around this just called it a pause on the West End, which was very interesting. I think that they just wanted to take the cast and probably some of the set pieces on a tour.
Yeah.
Like, if they were gonna do a tour, make it cheaper and do that. And by the time, like, Leighton Williams was doing the role. So yeah, it would go to America. And it would make its North American premiere at the Armington Theatre, with it playing between the 16th of January and the 20th of February 2022. Leighton Williams, as I said, and Roy Haylock, best known by their drag name Bianca Del Rio. I believe that they won Drag Race. So let's hear what the American critics had to say about it, shall we? Reviews. Again, COVID, massive. The Los Angeles Times spent about half of it talking about COVID. On one hand, who at this point in the COVID-19 pandemic isn't fed up with having to live in the suspended Omicron animation? On the other hand, headlines about the explosive Omicron surge plant a stark picture of more transmittable variant overwhelmingly ready stressed hospitals. It's a pity everybody's talking about Jamie, an exceptionally sweet-natured show, couldn't have hit Los Angeles at a more welcoming moment. The genial musical wears its heart on its sleeve. Although it's formulaic and sentimental, the force of goodwill coming from the stage is hard to resist. If the premise of the show is a close cousin of The Prom, which reached Broadway in 2018 after a premiere in Atlanta. The show is more different rhythms. The Prom is more traditional musical DNA. Everybody's talking about Jamie is a more pop-based, video-infused, scene geared towards jumpier attention spans. Reviews have been
Fuck you.
Reviews have been strong, but the show is more of a commercial triumph rather than an artistic one. Agreeably effective rather than original. The musical has a generic score. Think gay bar mixtape, sprinkled in with a few ballads, that lays down an infectious groove without too much concern for lyrical persuasion. No matter, Familiarity breeds content with theatre audiences equal to sway and shed a tear or two. The Wall in My Head, Jamie's cry about the altered heart, serves the same function in Everybody's Talking About Jamie as waving through a window does in Dear Evan Hansen. Except the words aren't as piercing and the inner life of the character seems a bit more pat. The production is overlong with a series of endings that drag out both senses of the word. In no universe should this show take nearly 3 hours, but particularly not one in which theatregoers are breathing behind protective masks.
How dare you?
I just don't think they get it.
On many levels, dare you?
They just don't get it. That's another thing, like, about the Britishness of the musical. The music is so British, like, it's pop, like, it's British
You
pop.
have gotten British. Your accent just completely changed.
I'm getting quite annoyed about this, actually.
No, yeah, I get it. Like, I want to talk about the prom. I have my own thoughts and feelings on the prom. None of it is because I think it's like in a bad musical. It's just not my kind of musical.
We're doing an
Dear
episode on the
Evan
prom
Hansen,
soon.
you're gonna defend Dear Evan Hansen in 2021?
He has a...
2022?
The movie was out at this point. The movie was out at this point.
Grow up.
Get a grip. I also think that maybe they just don't understand Jamie. They don't understand the nuances of the plot. And like, because here's the thing that I was also thinking about, especially since the synopsis mentions the specific phrase of a council estate. I was thinking about, like, Americans have no idea what the connotations of a council estate are. They don't know what it is because they don't. This is what I study again, so I'm not going to talk too much, but they kind of do, they kind of don't. Again, very different and localized, but they don't understand what that is.
I think as well, like, I think the big issue people think of when it's like British shows transferring to the US
Yeah.
is the comedy.
Yes.
Like, again, sorry to be mincemeat, the big issue that a lot of people think will happen with it if it transfers
Yeah.
is that the humor in it is very, very British.
Yes.
Every joke it's British humor, basically.
Yes, 100%.
It's if you wanted it to land as well with an American audience as it does, and I'm talking like a very stereotypical American audience
Yeah.
who doesn't know about British culture to the
100%.
same level, and so doesn't understand the humor. Because the people who are traveling over from the US enough to go and see it here clearly have some understanding of it, because you don't come here for no reason to go and see it. So clearly there is some understanding. I've never considered, and I don't know if I'm going to start to, British emotion would be different.
British and sorry, what?
Emotion would be different.
Yeah, I think maybe.
It's just, I feel like obviously there is some link that hasn't been made that was made between UK audiences and the show.
Yeah.
But then in that same vein, again, it's one review.
Yeah, I have another one if I want. Entertainment Tonight would say Everybody's Talking About Jamie is a glitter-coated tribute to living life loudly and proudly, as your truest self. Naysayers be damned. In its sparkle, it's also a welcoming escape from reality. The culture it presents trades in acceptances and concealment, transforming and exposing equal measure. Yeah, ironically, the show's weakest moments arrive when it starts to peel away the wings of bright blue eyelashes and say something more profound. Still, no one can say it's a drag.
I guess maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That a big part of what Jamie's trying to say relies on British culture. Like the council estate thing, it's a class thing.
Yeah.
Which isn't as big of a deal. It still is a deal.
The nuance
not as big of a one
of British class specifically is something
I think it's
really
like
hard to
the
explain
class divide, the
in a
north-south divide.
Exactly. Yeah.
The like gay-straight divide. The male-female divide.
Yes.
There's a lot of cleavages going on here. I love studying. I realize I'm always bringing up this stupid every time I read US theatre reviews.
I was thinking about the stupid tweet as I was watching,
as I was reading this. The one. The people who aren't caught up on the law and don't listen to every episode.
Intensively and take notes.
Oh my god. I barely remember what they talk about.
If you do, if you listen to every episode, then you deserve a present, but we're broke, so.
You deserve a break.
Yeah, your ears deserve a break.
I'm sorry about my mic again. But the stupid tweet is the one which is like, in the UK, theatre is just a bit of fun. But in America, in New York,
it's sacred.
Theatre is sacred.
I think they made the right move by bringing it to LA instead of New York, though.
Yeah. I guess the thing is, if you're looking at something that comes from the West End and expecting it to be
your lame is or your banter,
or the same kind of thing that comes from Broadway. Unfortunately, the stupid tweet is right.
Stupid tweet is so right.
I it sucks how right it is.
I wish,
Like, it's really annoying how right it is.
trust me, we would like theatre to us is always going to be sacred. But the
But by
like,
God, do I love a silly little show.
if you ask my mum what she wants to go see, a 3-hour musical about people crying, a fun little musical with some jokes and maybe a ballad or two. I know which one she's
Yeah.
picking.
And I think Jamie toes the line between the two pretty well.
Yes.
But again, it does just rely on British culture. I think one thing with both reviews is you can't. We said this before as well, I'm pretty sure.
Did we?
Don't listen to reviewers.
Yeah, we say this about every episode.
They're all stupid.
Guys,
Don't listen to them.
form your own
Unless they
opinions.
agree with you, then they're the
Here's
smartest
the
people
thing I will
alive.
say about reviews is if you're a bit uneasy, if you're not made up your mind, often reading reviews can really clarify how you feel about something. Because you can be like, oh,
Yeah.
I agree with that because of this, or oh, I don't believe it. I don't agree with that because of this. I think
And I think
that's
it's
the
as
role
well,
reviews
you will
should play.
see such a disparity. You wouldn't call these newspapers, but would you?
Media outlets.
Media reviews. Or reviews you'll find online, on a place like Mezzanine now.
Oh, I love Mezzanine for reviews.
But even before
it's where
that,
I
like,
get like the
people
lay of the
talking,
land.
yeah, people talking on like Twitter, on like
Word of
Tumblr, or on
mouth,
their like
yeah.
blogspot blogs.
Yeah.
You will see such a difference between the reviews.
Yes.
Because a theatre critic and slash reviewer is looking for something specific. A theatre goer, who's a regular guy, is looking for a night out.
Yes.
I think that's the same even with us.
Yeah.
Even if we went to go and see a show specific. Again, you know, trying to be more optimistic. This isn't even optimistic. Just guys, stop caring about what other people think. You can like stuff that everyone else hates. You can hate stuff that everyone else likes. God knows we do it enough.
Be a hater.
Be a hater. It's so much more fun.
Be a hater proudly, and then feel like the smuggest bitch on earth when people start to see your ways.
Let's stop caring.
Reel in the chaos a bit more, hey?
Stop caring what other people think.
Stop caring what even your friends
That's
think.
kind of the main one.
And that's the message of Jamie at the end of the day.
And that's the message of Jamie at the end of the day. Thanks for listening. It is 11 p.m.
No, it's technically 10:59.
11 p.m. It is now 11 p.m. on a Friday night. We have just spent about 6 hours
yapping,
talking about everybody's talking about Jamie.
No.
About 4 hours of that was not talking about everybody's talking about Jamie.
Anyway,
next week,
teaming
Fun Home.
There might be a trend
starting.
There might be a trend starting to emerge, lads.
I wonder what's happening next month.
I'm cutting that. Now just shared what we're doing. What one of our big episodes.
It's like 3 weeks time.
Oh my god, we've got a double punch because that's gonna be massive.
And
then that one is obviously gonna be.
And do you think we can shut up about the one after it? And then the one after that.
Well, the one after that's pretty chill. We've got 2 pretty chill ones. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Live life. We'll be normal next week, we promise, for Fun Home.
Follow us on socials. That's Twitter.
Yes, Twitter.
I'm not calling it X. Twitter. Instagram. TikTok. Mezzanine.
Email us if you have any questions, concerns.
If we hit 100 followers on the TikTok, I will make us a Tumblr. And I will run it.
Now we'll run the Tumblr like the fucking Navy.
See you next week.
Also, leave us a review if you're funny. Please leave us a review. We want to read them. Bye-bye.
Bye.